Hello everyone, welcome to Brownware Animation. So let's start learning small things to achieve big goals.
In this video, we are going to look at Zremesher tool menu and what are the options that are available in that menu. We are going to look at each button separately. So let's get into the video quickly. For using ZRemesh, you have to go to the tool menu, then you have to go to the geometry menu. Then after that, you will find out that there is Zremesher. You just go to that menu, then there are different buttons. I will tell you about these buttons one by one. First, I have loaded up this dog model, which is there in Lightbox and project section. You can find it here on demo projects, and you can turn off the Lightbox by hitting the comma key on your keyboard or using that hide button which is over here. So next, I have dynamiced this model. Then after that, I have applied some smooth onto it. Then we have got this kind of topology, but this is too high, so for reducing the polygons we do retopology, and we have got Zremesher in Zbrush. That is very helpful for getting a decent topology to work with. That is not ideal for the animation purposes, but yeah, that's very much helpful for creating a model. For turning on the polyframe, as you all know, that Shift F is the shortcut, or you can use this button over here. Next, we are going to look at each button. So here we go. Zremesher, as we can see, this is the main button which applies the Zremesher according to these settings. So this is the main button. You have to just press it to see that thing in action, but we are not going to press it right now. Then Legacy 2018. Legacy 2018 means this Zremesher is going to use the version 2.0 which was there in earlier version of ZBrush, which was of, I think, for the version 2018. That's why it's written Legacy 2018. It's going to follow the settings from 2018. Then freeze border is something which is very helpful for the case of hard surface, or if you're importing and exporting the marvelous clothings, and where you need the polygons to have a certain vertex count and certain vertex position to be fixed. So, and in those positions you need to press this freeze borders, where you want the different vertices to be at a fixed point on the borders, so that you can build different polygroups onto those exact vertices and exact position of the vertices. You can read about this more by holding Control on a keyboard and hovering over that option. And if you have any doubt, you can let me know in the comment section. I will demonstrate it for you with an example and make a separate video for this. Freeze group is simple. If you have different groups on your model, for example, I can create a mask, then I can press Ctrl W. This will create it as a separate group, and this button allows me to freeze that particular group and Zremesh that particular group separately. These options are very much easier. And the best way you can learn this thing is getting the idea what these buttons do by my explanation. Then go and try these buttons and you will find out more, and this will be also helpful for getting you to explore these buttons. And if I show it to you, maybe after that you won't try it, but if you want to learn something, you just watch the videos and at the same time try to explore that buttons after watching the video or while watching the video. In that way, I think I have learned a lot of things from different artists, and you will also learn. Next one is smooth group. This is not highlighted yet. If you hold Control on a keyboard and you will hover over that button, you will see that this is the function which this button does. In simpler words, it's like if you have, like you can see the before mesh, we have different groups, but edges are not exactly lined up, means they are not crisp sharp. So this button will allow you to smooth the borders, means the higher the slider, you will get a proper smooth edges around your polygroups. For example, we can see in this thing, if I would have to be Zremeshing this thing, we will get these kinds of jagged edges after Zremeshing. But if we turn on this, then it will try to smooth out the edges around this. For that, you have to press keep groups option. With keep group options, This means that groups will be maintained there. Like we have one group, this one kind of yellowish and this is pinkish, then these group will be there and smoothing group will help us to get a sharper edge. I will try to show you the demonstration at the last. We'll moving on to the next group. Keep creases is a button which help you in the way when you are kind of modeling hard surface or something like in which you have some hard edges, like edges where some sharpness is there or creases are there. Those creases will be maintained after when you turn on these things. If you have creases, this button will help you to maintain those creases. You can read about it. You can hold control and hover over this button. Next is detect edges, and detect edges help us to get a crease or different edges around those parts where the major surface normals are changes. In those parts you will get a proper edge. So detect edges was that thing. Then target poly count is simple. If you are applying zero meshing onto your model and you have 5, or say here the 5 is the target poly count, that means the scale is in thousands. If it's 5 around here, then it means the overall poly count will be around 5k. Next are these buttons. Half is this buttons works like if you have this many active polygons, active points on this thing, then according to this amount, the half is like half of this amount. Means whatever the polygon count is on this model, when you press half, this will reduce these polygon counts into half. And similarly, if you press same, whatever the poly count is there in this model right now, that will be same after you zero mesh. Then next one is double. Whatever the poly count is there on this model, when you press double and apply zero mesh, these polygon count get doubles. And adapt is useful in many ways, but I don't like it that much, but it's helpful if you are just playing with zero mesh and zero mesher is helping you in different ways. When you press adapt, it will work according to that adaptive size and a target polygon count both. But if you press adapt and if you have higher adaptive size, it won't look at the exact polygon target. It will mostly prefer this adaptive size and it will try to get much polygons in these kinds of detailed areas, and it will adapt to this mesh, not look at the polygon count. Let's say if you have 5k polygon count but your adaptive size is higher, then it won't respect that 5k. It will go higher in polygon count, but it will respect the mesh, and it will try to adapt as much as possible to your previous mesh, means the Dynamesh. So I hope this is clear to you. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. I'm trying to explain it to you, but still if you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. So adaptive size is simply it's a slider which allows us to get an adaptive mesh and strength of adaptive. This is basically the strength of adaptive. Then curve strength work with the brush, which is this one, zero meshing guide brush. If you click this mesh, you will be selecting the brush which applies these kinds of guides, and when you apply these kinds of guides, you will see whatever the flow which you are making. Like if I am applying this like this, these are guides. These will be kind of guides for our zero mesh, and zero mesher will try to, with these buttons, this curve strength turned up and the rest of the settings accordingly. This strength turned up and adaptive size is also turned up, means it will try to adapt as close as possible, but curve strength is up. That means these curves will help us to get a loop around these guides. Means if we'll zero mesh it, we will get a loop around these edges. So let me show you an example quickly. I will try to demonstrate this thing with most of the tools. So freeze border, I think we don't need it. Freeze group, no, we don't need it. But keep group is there. We have to work on this thing. Let's press zero meshing and let's see what happens. It will take some time. It's going up here. So you can see that this is our zero mesh now. So it's quite decent to work with and get in more detail on this model. But you can see with this keep groups on, we get up separate polygroup here. We can select it by Control Shift and we'll get this separate polygroup. And you can see the edges around it are quite smooth. This is because of this smooth group option. If we would have not selected this smooth group option, I think we would have gotten something different. So let's do an example for that also. You can see we have got something quite messy because this thing is trying to adapt to this jagged edges kind of thing. That's why it's not that smooth. So smooth group, keep groups are very helpful, and adaptive is turned on. That's why those messy things were happening. But yeah, sometimes these kinds of things happen, but you have to try to get the hang of these options and try to play with these options and see whatever works for you is fine. And you have seen that when I was in earlier or in this one also, you can see this was the flow which I have marked with this curve strength. So that's why when I applied the curve strength, I got a loop around these things, or else maybe it would have happened something different. But yeah, this is for getting a proper loop. If you want a proper loop around eyes, you can use that Z-remeshing guide and you can apply like this. And if increase the curve strength and adaptive size to a decent number, then apply it, then you will get a proper loop around there. See, you have got, and after that proper loop also, and you get a polygroup also. So curve strength is helpful in these kinds of cases. Next is this use polypaint options help us to paint areas where we need higher polygon count and where we need less polygon count, means where we need Zremesher to focus more and give a decent or good result or higher polygon count. In those parts we can paint with these use polypaint button, and this will basically work with the color thing. Means if you turn on this button and you have color density for 2, you can see your color slider is here, but if you increase this color density, your color slider is automatically going to the red side, means totally red side. So total red means you can paint it with your standard brush with RGB turned on, or any brush I can choose paint brush also. So if I have color density higher, then I will be able to, let me turn off the polyframe, I will be able to paint with RGB turn on, or you in this case with the paintbrush you don't have to turn on RGB. We will get higher mesh in these areas. We can paint like this, high resolutions in these areas according to our polygon count, means the target polygon count, and this is like this. In the areas where we don't need that much of details, then we can reduce it, and you see we will get a blue kind of color. Blue kind of color means we don't need that much resolution in those areas, so we will paint a blue color. This will automatically change the color if you turn on the use polypaint option. Let's hit the Z-remeshing option, and I will show you the polyframe, and you will get what is happening around here. Shift F, and you will see ears are more dense and this area is less dense because of that color. So I hope this explained many things to you. I have explained each and every options in Zremesher, so I hope this is clear to you. And if you have any doubt in these options, let me know in the comment section, or else if you have any doubt in any of the options around ZBrush, let me know in the comment section. I have planned things for the future videos, so I will be making videos according to that plan, and it will be a kind of very basic and very good journey for a ZBrush artist to follow these videos. Try to follow my steps, and that will help you to get the stages for how to proceed to learn ZBrush, and it is very easy. Trust me, you will love this software. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section, and like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the Brown Bear Animation channel. Thank you so much.